The central government in Nigeria has mobilized all police forces this weekend in the wake of protests and killings by security forces. Dozens of protesters have died, and there are concerns the latest move could make matters even worse. We're joined now by freelance reporter Phil Ihaza. He's in Nigeria's capital of Abuja. And before we turn to Phil, I just want to let folks at home know that there is a bit of a delay on the line. But Phil, describe what's happening on the ground. What is the latest?
Thank you. So at the moment, we've had days of, violence, massive lootings that have occurred by thousands of people in different parts of the country simultaneously. We've seen people going to government offices, residential areas, shopping malls and warehouses where there are food supplies to loot, vandalize and destroy those properties. But we've also seen quite a number of states out of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory in Nigeria. We've seen state governors come out to impose a curfew to bring, the entire force, police, civil defense, and a couple of others also brought out the military to support and ensure that there is law and order in those states. And that has actually brought calm in those areas. But we're still hearing pockets of violence in some other parts of the country as at the moment.
Phil, this initially started as a movement to end SARS, that police unit in Nigeria, but it's become a much larger conversation and protest against police brutality in general. What's the latest on that front?
Well, indeed, it started a few weeks ago, when thousands of youths went online as reports of police brutality continued, and it was as if one recent attack on a particular youth in the southern part of the country tipped off everyone. And, protesters even went on the streets for about 2 weeks to protest and, demand for an end of a particular unit that had lots of accusation as regards police brutality. And of course, the government came out when, these agitations were growing and becoming, very, very, had this global recognition or global attraction, and so the government came out to scrap or disband that unit. It's called the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. But, the youth refused to back down because they insisted that it was not just the unit, but a case of police brutality. And therefore, to prove that you've put an end to, such acts, you'd have to prosecute some of the rogue officers. You'd have to compensate the victims. You have to set up judicial panel. And at the moment, the government has actually put that in place, but they're saying there'll be time. They'll need more time to effect all of those changes. So, but all of these actually became violent when the shooting occurred in Lagos that injured or killed dozens of people. And across the country, we've seen about 70 people, die. And but at the moment, there's no protest on the streets, but the agitations have, continued online. We're just hoping that the government really do more to put an end to police brutality in the country.
Phil Ihaza reporting from Abuja. Thank you.